on side. For camera ready? I'll take it.
Yes, sir.
Coach, opening statement, then we'll go.
This past weekend, we broke camp with our final scrimmage. It was a solid outing, a lot of situational football this past weekend, but good camp for JSU football. I thought we identified some guys that's going to be able to make plays for us this season. So as of right now, it's all about flipping the switch, and we're getting ready for Hampton August 30th. So coaches in the meeting rooms right now getting those plans together to go out here and have a good show August 30th. But we're getting ready for another amazing season. I really feel good about this football team. Our depth is solid in all three phases. So, we're looking forward to it. The guys have really been competing, like I said, in camp. But at this point, we're ready to see somebody else in a different jersey, different helmet, and get after it a little bit. So we're excited about it as a program.
Questions?
Coach, coming off the last scrimmage on Saturday, obviously you didn't play the starters a lot, that much, but from the players that you did play, as far as your depth, who were some of the players that you could say they kind of stepped up?
Ethan Terrell played a really good scrimmage. I think he had like 3 or 4 touchdown passes. He really did some good stuff. Like you said, we did hold some starters out. Reed Pulliam, a couple more guys, Jacobian didn't participate, Travis Terrell, but just trying to get those final answers on those few pieces. Like I said, the backup quarterback position was a big question for us, but Ethan has shown that he can really lead us if we get into a situation with that quarterback position. But it was some young linebackers. Jacory played well. Those freshmen played well. There's quite a few guys that stepped up in those moments.
You mentioned flipping the switch from training camp to now getting ready for Hampton. What does that process look like for you all and out in the locker room and out on the practice field?
Just game planning. Right now we're watching tape on Hampton. You have to go off of last year's film, but we do know they lost a lot. They have a young football team, a lot of freshmen and sophomores over there. Did acquire a few transfers, but right now it's all about us game planning and getting the best plan we can together for our guys. We don't want to overload them a lot. It's going to be a hot game. The conditioning is going to play a big part. I think it's 2-3 o'clock kickoff. So we really got to focus on the hydrate conditioning this week. And we get an extra week. That's what I told the guys. We're going to start on Hampton, get an extra week of work. But it's all about those coaches in the defensive room, offensive room, for us putting a good plan together and getting ready for that football game.
Coach, can you touch on the growth you've seen week in and week out since camp started up till now?
They just been, it's kind of the same mentality last year's team. I see a lot of similarities there. You just get out there with these guys and you give them an assignment, they go out there and execute. I've been saying it all along. For me, when you're in training camp, it's all about getting the team to play together. And I think we've accomplished that as a coaching staff, and getting these young men to go out here and compete as one. It's not a lot of me guys on this football team. They all believe in one thing, and that's wins. It's my phone. Sorry about that.
Coach, the standard, the expectation of success has been at a certain level for a long time around here now. But coming off of the championship, how much does that sort of even elevate those things to another level with this team?
These guys are still hungry. They're not complacent. The staff is not, the coaching staff is not complacent. We play games to go win championships, and that's what it's all about. But you got to take it one game at a time. We don't want to take anybody lightly, starting with Hampton. But our goal is still the same deal, win the East. We have to start by winning the East, then the SWAC championship. We want to host another SWAC championship and then be playing in December. But, it's the things that we talk about in the beginning of camp. We got to play physical. We got to execute, and we got to play with maximum effort. But these guys, they know what championship football looks like. The staff knows what championship football looks like, and they go out there and do it every day.
That said, what questions do you have about this team? Because this, as you said a couple of weeks ago, this is a new season. This is, everybody has to hit the reset button at this point too.
It's the new pieces that we've added, some of the new names. What are they going to look like in football games? We got, again, quite a few guys off last year's team that can make plays that I know what they're going to do once they're on the field. But it's that depth, once they get an opportunity to play. We got a couple young guys that we're looking to make some noise this year as well. So it's just the new names, new faces. We got some new coaches, got to see how they're going to move around on game day as well.
What's the one?
Bless you. Mm-hmm.
What's the one position that probably impressed you the most during fall camp?
Whew, that's a good question. Those receivers were good. You know, those receivers can make some plays. You get the ball in their hands, they can make some plays. The running back room, it was very impressive. On the defensive side, it's the linebackers. You know, those guys are really flying around.
Coach, when you talk about the depth, as you're getting ready for this first game, how do you go about kind of making those choices and figuring out who might play best in what situation?
Well, the players made that decision in camp. You know, that's what training camp is all about, to find out who can play football, you know, be solid backups. Because when you talk about the depth, you're talking about special teams as well. You know, and all those guys are second, third teamers right now. We're counting on them on special teams. But we got a lot of those questions answered during camp of guys that's going to be able to help us win football games.
Anything else?
Coach, you got any early concerns about Hampton?
I just hope they get here. That's about it. But like I said, I ain't taking nothing away from them, Rob. You know, they're going to come to play. But I just need them to get here, and we'll do the rest.
TC, how much have you noticed sort of the reaction you changing after winning the championship? You enter some elite territory now, being a player who played here, a coach who's won here at the highest level. Has your life, your family's life kind of changed at all on the other side of this championship?
I've always felt the love here. You know, just like you said, being a former player here and everything, I've always felt the love. Now, championships kind of elevates those type of things, but it just comes with the territory. I always say that with JSU football, you talk about the brand, the standard, and everything. You know, the expectation is to win, and that's how I approach it each and every morning when I walk through those doors. You know, to get in here, get these young men coached up, hold my coaches at a high standard as well. To you know, because they spending a lot of time with them. But you know, life is a little different when you do win SWAC championship, a natty, and things like that. But I just stay hungry for the next one.
Good. Appreciate everybody.
All right. Thank you.